want to show is just some of the different looks that we get when we get these extra linemen and the way we play the different things. So the first one here, make sure I didn't go too far. All right. And it is just a nub trips look with a tackle over. And this one per se isn't an extra lineman, but the way that some offenses are doing it are creating extra linemen to one side. And I think you have to combat that with certain things. And the first way we'll do is we'll slant the front. The next thing we'll do off of this is check a 5 to the extra lineman on that side. And then sometimes we'll just actually slide the whole front and still play our tight front, bring our outside backer, our jack linebacker down and play the edge and get back to what we would consider our base front. So now the center is actually part of your traditional side. And so this is the kind of the way we look at those things. This one here is actually what we're getting a lot more of. And this one is when they bring in a 6th offensive lineman for the tight end, maybe, and I don't know what the biggest rave on this is for offensive guys, but I think that maybe there's not a surplus of tight end guys, but they're bringing in an extra lineman as the tight end, and we've had a few schools that will actually just put him in an eligible number, but then most of them will just leave him as a lineman, and so we have the same ability to line up to those different looks as we do the other one. Here is a wing twins look, and in this one here, this is one we're getting a lot of out of this look. And then they'll also give us the same. We will give them the same looks. We'll play our tight front out of it, and then they'll also tackle over and give us a slot look off this. And so right now you got 6 ineligible numbers with the ability for the single receiver on the right hand side of the screen, the yo tight end. They can run counter. They can do all kinds of different things back to the strong side, to the what would be our strong side. We call speed to the most receivers, and so that causes some problems if you don't adjust your front. And so a lot of things we will do is we will slant the front, as you see here. Nothing revolutionary, like I said. The biggest thing is when in doing this clinic, getting ready for it, is I wanted to see which of these things were most effective for us and helped us getting into the offense into a negative yardage situation. The next thing we'll do is we'll just slide the front, and in doing that, I feel we create a lot of combos. So if it is a zone team, maybe they're going to run a lot of duo or whatever, I can create the combos because I want to clear the picture up for our inside backers as much as possible. Our defensive linemen, I tell them sometimes you guys are pawns, and they don't like it. But then when I start to explain the differences in between, sometimes they're just you've got to get double teamed and you got to stay double teamed. But the second they combo off, now it's time for them to go to work. And so I use them to make the offense do the things hopefully that we want them to do as far as blocking schemes. And so when we move these guys around up front, I feel it can create some of those issues. This is probably one of the ones we see the most. And so in this situation right here, what we did is we checked a 54 front, so it was a 5 shade 4, but then we also slid the front. We had an inside backer told us one year that this was one of the most crucial adjustments we've ever made in a football game at halftime. And all we really did was just slide the front and get the front back to what would be our normal base that I showed you earlier. If we had a nub tight end to the right hand side, and we redeclared here on this one and made the guard our center, if you will. And so it keeps us gap sound and allows us to do some different stuff with one of the extra guys that we have in the box. We can remove our nickel to the passing strength if they've got 2 dudes out there that they need to try to get the ball to, and so forth. Same thing here. This is just a little bit different, except for now they've kind of got some one-on-one matchups on you. This past year, we had this situation right here, one of these specific situations like this in the championship game, and they had some dudes out here at the outside receivers, and they caused us some conflict as far as we had to stay in a lot of man, and then we had to strategically roll a coverage and get guys out of the box to help out in playing those. And so that's kind of how we played that. just getting to some film. This is one of the situations I was talking about. The biggest thing about this formation right here that I just showed you is they have a whole lot going on, and so they got a lot of eye candy. You got the single receiver that's off the line over here on the right side of the screen is one of their deep threat dudes. Then they've also got another one out here as a single, and they're using this guy in motion because they're covering the extra lineman up. They've got a 6 offensive lineman set here, and they're using that to sorry, go back to the wide. Sometimes our end zone view doesn't start in time, guys. And so this is a really good play by our inside backer, trusting his keys. What I feel offenses are trying to do in this is they're trying to get you to overload and adjust to that extra lineman side. And so when you do, that's when they combat it and go back to the other side. But if you'll notice, both of our safeties are box guys. When we go to inside run, especially weeks like this where we have got guys like this, teams like this who have big physical offensive linemen, we bring all 9 dudes to inside run. So our corners will come down there sometimes, even when they have a nub. We have a team that's playing a lot of nub sets, and they need to be able to fit. But our skill guys, our back end defensive backs and corners and safeties have got to be able to run fit. And so here you'll be able to see how kind of some of that looks, and you'll see right here 7. He's very patient because his job is he is the last hope, if you will. So as soon as 4 inserts right here, and 32 spills it, 4 spills the next guy, and he's ready to fit outside, and our extra defender comes into play there as our backside safety comes off of the escort screen that's at the top of the screen. Because they've got a lot going on here. They got a jet look. They got a quarterback super counter back to the boundary. They've got a escort screen coming to the top of the screen where 2 is going to block for 1. So a lot of things happening in this one play. Really good offensive team and coaching staff doing some really good things with their kids. Quarterbacks is a dude too for them. I'm going to skip that end zone there. On this one here, another team bringing in a lot of heavy guys. And so what you got here is you got a 6 offensive lineman with a yo tight end that's looks like the size of a lineman a little bit with a skill number on. And so one thing we do on this one, I can go to the end zone on. One thing that we're going to try to do here with this is, one, we're trying to mix it up here. We're going to prowl around a little bit. Get in, get our linemen moving around, our defensive linemen moving around, and hopes to create some confusion for the offensive line. Don't do this a ton, but we dabble in it a little bit and hopes to create another opportunity to get the offensive linemen unsure about who they're supposed to block. On this particular play, I would like 9 on the right to be more physical in his gap. The thing about this, though, is they spend so much time really worried about 61. We get opportunity 4 to come off and unblock there, and we're able to make a short gain, keep it to a minimal gain. Go to the end zone. This one, get a really good look here. On this one here, we check what we would say is 54 by 5 shade 4. So the 5 techniques to the right of the screen, he goes to the extra lineman. And we'll mix that up every week. We can call it to the lineman. We can call it to the back. We can call it to the tight end, just like everybody else does. But this is one of the things that we do that we feel gets everything back to the normal. The biggest thing off this play set right here is now you've got to bring another fitter to the right side of the screen, because the 9's either going to have to, depending on what we're going to see that week, 9 will either lever 88 or he'll spill 88, and him and the safety are communicating that. We give our kids a ton of freedom to make that call sometimes on their own. And so you can see 0 right there. As soon as the running back gets out here and he sees him wide, he knows now that I got to have a certain fit, or most likely it's a pass. And so you're able to get off the field in a long yard situation with